East Podcast, WATP.
Now, I mentioned we were playing Patrick Michael's podcast, Brokenskull. It's only available on his Patreon. You can't get it unless you give him money. And I played the beginning where he was playing FM DJ and he was going through all of his AI rock and roll tracks that he's been creating and talking them up. And I mean, it was good for a second. Then he kind of lost track of what he was doing.
But he was proud.
But he was very proud of himself. And I read to you on the last show that he was very upset that we made an AI song about him, but he wasn't sure how to respond because he's like, and I won't even listen to it. So it was a waste of your time. So I decided to check out the next part of his show. The next part of his show, he starts promoting his streaming channels, which is off-brand, we'll say. In fact, I was pretty impressed with Paddy in this. He does things he's never done before. He actually explains his motivation and what he's trying to accomplish. I've never heard these explanations before. I was very impressed. I thought it was very enlightening. Let's start with promoting his stream.
That you guys support in other ways. I've started Twitch streaming, which is very odd. I didn't expect it to be so easy. Hey, who would have guessed that this guy couldn't figure it out, But I finally did. And of course, I do video while I play games, and check it out. Check it out, dude. The Skeleton Thief, and thief is spelled wrong. My mistake. I'll fix it in another 40-something days, give or take, if it's still available. But with that being said, I have started streaming a little bit more on YouTube at youtube.com/thatdudethatscreams, very similar to the Patreon, because I don't give a shit. Who cares,
Well, no, that's actually the thing that makes sense, is when different channels have the same name. And so people can connect them and you can support the show that you like and give them money on Patreon. It's the first time he's done that. He's like, and I don't know why I did that. No, that's actually the one thing he did right. I love that he's finally trying to promote something and people to watch it, because I get the emails. And he's been going on Twitch a lot lately, and I try to hop on there and watch him when he's on. And even when he's actually promoting something, he spelled it wrong. So it's impossible to find.
Do you know what his pinnacle was? If he ever had a show that was at its zenith, maybe how many subscribers he had? Did he have the one that was the biggest?
Yeah, the one that he nuked this year, the YouTube channel that he nuked this year, which was Great Job Awesome. Mm-hmm. That one was almost at 1,000 subscribers. That one was really building up, but he didn't like the types of subscribers he had. And so he decided to get rid of it. He's going to talk about that later in this episode. But he has definitely had some chances to do some things. I mean, there was a time when Anthony Cumia was inviting him on to the Anthony Cumia show. Dick Masterson wanted him on the Dick Masterson show. He could have made a name for himself and gotten himself out there, and he shied away from all of it, BranDon.
That's weird. You got to take those opportunities.
You got to. That's how you get to where you want to get to. But then he explains he doesn't want to be the face of this. All this entertainment that he creates, this is what his strategy is.
I don't want to link any of this stuff to any of my stuff. Essentially, I want to be the Chris Gaines to Garth Brooks, right? More behind the scenes type of deal. Less of the face.
Chris Gaines, how did that work out for Garth Brooks? Do you remember?
No, it didn't work out well at all. Nobody liked that music, and they made fun of him for his stupid look.
Yes, it was a really bad idea. And Patty's like, I want to do that, but with podcasting. Okay. It's a stupid idea.
Now he's back to true form.
Right. So I mentioned he's got this channel called Comedy Capone on YouTube. And for a while, he wasn't telling people where it was or how to find it or what it was called. But now he is, and he's going to explain how he came up with that name. Again, this is stuff that you don't hear that often from Patrick Michael, so I was excited to hear it.
I started this channel, and I notice a trend within a lot of the channels that get the most exposure doing similar content is they all try to put comedy somewhere in their name. The only one that I notice that doesn't do that is Too Lazy to Try. So he just sort of got exposure because of the video that he put out. That's fine. But I wanted to lean very hard into the irony of the whole thing. So I was like, Comedy Capone sounds hilarious. It's the two C's feel good, Comedy Capone.
Sure.
And I also started to build like a story behind it where it's like, it's like I'm like the mafia guy, the mafia comedy guy, whereas these other guys are comedy enforcement and podcast cringe, stuff like that. It's like, I'm going to be Comedy Capone.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I've always thought of him as a good fella in my mind.
Yep.
He's making more sense, though. Like, he seems a little more lucid. I think he may have made enough money to get meds.
Interesting.
I mean, doesn't he sound more sane to you?
He does, and he's actually putting together points. They don't make a lot of sense,
but
he's
more
trying
than usual.
to. Yeah, he's trying to make some sense with some of this stuff. So I thought it was interesting that his whole thing is he's copying these channels that actually Drew loves these channels. Podcast Cringe, Too Lazy to Try.
Yes, I like that one.
Yeah, there's a lot of these channels that talk about other shows and break down what's going on these shows. And so that's his goal, is to be like one of those channels with Comedy Capone. And, but he's like those guys, but more mafia. He never really explains that to me. I'm not sure how that works, but this is him explaining the channel and what he's trying to do. And I got to be honest with you, I'm still not sure if I understand. So listen closely, please.
So my theory was, what if I label every single other subject that I have already done the same way that the Chris D'Elia problem was released, and I drop the videos under Comedy Capone. So I do this. Months go by. I drop 30 videos, and the only reason I even had any intention of doing this was because I watched the Killer Clowns of Comedy, which is a video some guy put out. He has like 13,000 subscribers, some shit like this. Not a big. It's Chippers and some, I don't know what the fucking name of the channel is anymore, but I watched his video and I was like, okay, this guy's leaning very hard into the idea that comedians that say that they kill are actually murderers, right? So I'm thinking, oh, that's very funny. He's basically doing what I was doing with Great Job Awesome that nobody really understood. There was like 10 people that got it. So when I create this new channel, I'm like, I gotta lean heavier into this thing. Where it's like, I'm a channel here that's trying to fucking expose these people, to make them look foolish, to make people think that I hate them. So I had to be a little more visceral in my new writing.
Okay. Are you understanding what he's trying to do here, BranDon?
No.
Basically,
I'm not really following.
I know, and I've listened to it a couple times now. Basically, I think what he's saying is that the Chris D'Elia problem was this huge video. Everyone's seen this video. And the reason why is because it's like a documentary about how Chris D'Elia is a predator.
And it's very well put together.
It's very well put together. There's interviews with the girls that he took advantage of and started his sex cult with. And it's a fascinating story. Rolling Stone has covered it. And this was kind of a follow-up to that original story that he's still doing it, even though he pretends he's not doing that anymore. And it's newsworthy. It's fascinating. It's criminal. It's all the elements that you want when you're watching programming.
And so he just
so
needs one of those. Yeah.
So Paddy goes, well, it's called the Chris D'Elia problem. What if I put out a video that's called the Andrew Schultz problem? And then I put one out that's called the Joe Rogan problem. And the Bert Kreischer problem. So he thinks it was just the title that got this video viewed so many times. He's like, oh, I got the algorithm. It's just the title.
I see. Okay, just because of the title. He doesn't want to do the work and actually expose somebody like they did with Chris D'Elia. He wants to just kind of tinker with the algorithms and get more views.
He's pretending to expose him. He's trying to trick you into thinking he's going to.
Right.
Oh, this must be a follow-up to the Chris D'Elia problem. Okay.
Clickbait.
This is going to be great.
Well, he figured out that Comedy Capone was brilliant. I think he's just mad with power now.
He's figuring too many things out. He's connecting all the dots right now. So then he goes on to talk about the Andrew Schultz video. Now all these videos he's putting up were originally on his Great Job Awesome page. I was saying was doing pretty well and was growing for him. And he didn't like that. So he got rid of it. And now he's putting these videos, he's rebranding them and he's changing up the thumbnails. And he's changing the titles.
Oh, but it's the same content?
But it's the same videos from before.
Okay, it's recycled.
And he explains that this Andrew Schultz video he made should be doing fantastic because everyone hates Andrew Schultz. But he explains why he fucked this up.
I put that video out. It gets 1,200 views. So I'm like, what the fuck? I mean, that's big. If you consider how when I dropped it on the Great Job Awesome channel, it did nothing.
Why is that?
And I think it was because when I first released it, it did okay, but there was a misspelling in the title of some kind. So I ended up deleting that and reposting it. And by reposting it, I got a quarter of the views.
Yep. Yeah, that'll happen right there. So basically, what we're learning about Patrick Michael, because before he says that, he talks about how much work he puts into these videos, how much time it takes. He has to write them, record them, build the thumbnails, get the graphics, get the video that he shows while he's doing the voiceover. It's a lot of work. And then he spells the title wrong. And then he spells his Twitch stream.
The easiest part of the entire process.
Yes. This is happening multiple times to the guy. It's like, dude, you got to check your spelling, man. You're going to put this much work into shit. No wonder he's so frustrated.
Yeah, double check.
So, but now that he's put it up on this new channel, it's doing very well. He's very excited about that. And this next clip is the thing that Paddy does that I love more than anything else. I think this is why he's so endearing as a podcaster.
And he's downward trending. Or that's backwards, right? Trending downward. It doesn't matter. You get my point. Instead of releasing them willy-nilly, if you will, is that a saying? What does that even mean? Who was willy-nilly? What was willy-nilly? Is that, I mean, the expression
Classic
itself
Paddy.
sounds strange.
Yep.
Are you releasing it willy-nilly? Was this like a guy who jumped into like a frozen pool or something? Seems like it, right? Willy-nilly was always the first guy to, I don't know. Doesn't matter. Why are you talking about it?
Where did willy-nilly come from? It's like a guy who jumped into a cold pool?
Coming up, the willy-nilly problem.
Yes, I'll watch that.
Oh, wow. I've never heard of a breakdown of that.
It's pretty good stuff, actually. I just love when he gets distracted by his own words that he uses. Like, whoa, where did that come from? Why did I say that? That's dumb. What does that even mean? I don't know. Let's talk about it some more. So this is where he's talking about how he's trying to get with the algorithm to get people watching his videos.
So the first video being the Andrew Schultz problem. Mm-hmm. The second video being the bad friends problem or the Andrew Santino problem.
Right.
I really had trouble figuring out how to title that one. You know, to hit the I don't even know, the algorithm.
Spell check.
I don't even talk like this, and then here I am really trying to set these videos up with the purpose.
So this kid, we've given him so many chances, and we send so many people to watch his stuff and listen to his stuff, and he constantly takes it down. But now he's trying to work the algorithm to get views and clicks. It's just like, it's always got to be on his terms. You know what I mean? It's like, here's all these opportunities to build an audience and to get your name out there, maybe make some money podcasting. And he's like, no. It's this authoritative defiance disorder or something like that Doug always tells me.
Well, back to turning down the Kumia show.
Yeah.
And other big opportunities. He really just wants to spin his wheels in the comfort zone.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
You see how he reacts to any negative comments. So.
He needs projects to keep him busy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's screaming over metal tracks or building AI music or putting these videos together and trying to get views from the algorithm. And then as soon as people pay attention to it,
right,
it's on to the next thing. Can't do that anymore.
That's weird. He's right now he's focusing on titles and algorithms instead of the actual content of the video that's being uploaded.
That part doesn't matter. As soon as someone clicks it, that's it. They're in. They're going to subscribe. And he actually goes through and explains all of this work he's doing for this new channel and trying to build it up and why he's doing that, which was fascinating to me. It's like, oh, this is why he's doing that. And he's explaining what his angle is and what he's going for. And of course, he wraps all that up with,
like, unlike a lot of these fucking channels, man, I don't care really.
No. Just a reminder. Yeah. I know I just talked about for 20 minutes all the work I'm putting into this and how I'm trying to build it up through the algorithm. But remember, when it fails, I don't care.
It's his standard loophole.
Yep.
Yeah, it's an easy out.
Just so you guys know, you can say that video sucked that I made. Don't care. Didn't care when I made it.
Didn't try.
Don't care now. Yeah. What this all comes back to, though, is the fact that I got on his Patreon instead of reviewing his new podcasts again because it had been a while. Yeah. You know, he kind of disappeared. We didn't really know what he was doing. And he was all excited about that new bicycle he got for Father's Day? I think it was Father's Day.
Do we have a bicycle update?
He got a bicycle, and he's all upset that we talked about it. He talked about it for a while.
Yeah.
So I thought that'd be kind of fun to get excited for him.
And he wasn't just flexing. He was really happy. You could tell he was genuinely happy.
Well, it was like he has never spent any time outdoors or hasn't in a long time. He's like, there's something about being outside with the breeze and the sun. Like, yes.
He felt free.
Touch grass. Yes. Do that more. That's a good thing for everyone. And he was not happy that we did that.
And it's very similar to my situation with a lot of these dummies that try to talk crazy. It's like, dude, you're literally talking about my bicycle that I just mentioned in my last episode. So that just goes to show you how big of a fan you are. You're still watching and paying attention to everything I'm doing. Like, stop. It's weird. To also pretend to be a hater and then also watch all the shit. It's like you have to invest so much energy to hate that much.
Not really.
First off, I am not a hater.
No.
I don't consider you a hater.
I've never been a hater. I've always praised this man for his podcasting. I love almost everything he does.
Yeah.
Screaming stuff I don't care about, but whatever. I don't care about the MMA stuff, but I love everything. And he's like, you guys are listening to my show about riding a bike and you're going to talk about that. You can put a lot of effort in. No, it'd be weirder if we just made shit up that you didn't talk about. It's less weird that we pull clips from the show and then react to what you said.
Right. like our format is.
Right.
Yeah,
like
we're analytical.
Like we do with everything that we
Yes.
talk about on the show.
And even when we're not doing a show, we're pretty analytical of things. Like watching Troll 2 or something like that.
I see the chat. Carl and Patty sitting in a tree. Yeah. Someday.
Ooh, Carl's got a crushy poo.
Carl's got a crushy poo. I still have that somewhere on my board. I'll never find it if I look for it right now.
The moment has passed.
The moment has passed, but goddamn, that was a good drop that we used to have. So this is big news right here. This I was excited to hear.
Like, you could sit here and make the argument all day long. Like, I don't really hate Carl. I don't give a fuck about the Who Are These Podcast shit.
Okay.
Because I don't have enough invested interest in it where I've even heard an episode where I could be like, yeah, that guy sounds like a dummy. That person's fat. What? I don't pay attention to it to give a shit. It's just like, it's there. It just exists in my peripheral, if you will. Right?
No, not since chewing gum has he been in the first hour and a half. So he's either scrubbing around or he's listening pretty deep in.
Yeah, the fact that he brought up, we talked about his bicycle.
Yeah.
And then he goes, I never listened to your show, so I don't even know what you guys are doing. I don't care.
How'd you find that?
Yeah, that's a little bit odd, I would think. But I think when it comes down to what he really gets upset about are the comments. And we've talked about this forever. He'll see a negative comment and do an entire show about a negative comment.
Oh, yeah.
Which is no way to live your life. It's not, The internet ain't for you if you respond to every comment that comes your way. And this is what's really driving him nuts right now.
But again, I do hate when you get your goddamn greasy fingers on the shit that I don't want your stupid fans coming and commenting on. Because they think for some reason that it's hilarious to say, Carl sent me here, or just heard about this on Who Are These Podcasts. It's like, dude, all you're doing is setting yourself up to get blocked.
Oh, come on. You can't block people.
Now, hold on. Have you ever sent anyone anywhere?
No.
Okay.
I mean, when I find out where he is, I let people know.
Right.
I do like supporting him.
It's not a direct order, though.
No, I don't order anyone to do anything.
I mean, I had to get beer the other day, but that was about it.
That's true. I did ask politely, though. But that's really what it comes down to. It's not that we're talking about his bicycle. Well, it is that, too. Actually, now that I think about it, he's just pissed about everything. He's not even sure. He's not even sure what he's mad about.
Yeah. He just took it out on the bike.
But yeah, if you go in there and mention WTP or my name or anything like that, you just get instantly blocked by him.
Oh, wow.
I know. So don't do that, guys.
So he wants you to view it, just not comment.
We should make up a different shows talking about him. What if everybody went on his show and was just like, dude, your mom's house sent me. And everyone just started saying Tom Segura and what's her name? Christina P. I forgot.
Well, if you really want to appeal to him, say Kill Tony sent us.
Oh, Kill Tony. They just sold out Madison Square Garden. Do you see that?
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
Jesus, fucking nuts.
Big deal.
Yeah. And he was on that show. That's crazy to think about it that way. But yeah, I think your mom's house and Kill Tony. Just tell Patrick that those are the people who are talking. Well, you can't do Kill Tony because he's been on there. He'll think that that's legit. You got to do your mom's house. Because then he's going to be like, wait, they're talking about me?
How do I not know that Patty Seacups was on Kill Tony? How do I not know that?
Oh, that was an amazing thing that happened because it was during the pandemic. And so they used to do their show. They do it out of Austin now. Well, I guess they tour, but they used to do the show out of the Comedy Store in LA. And LA shut down everything, as I'm sure Detroit did and everything in New York too. And so for many months, maybe a year, they were doing these shows remotely where people were sending in their 60-second stand-up clips, and then they would get them on their show via Zoom and talk to them about it that way.
And that's how he got on the show.
And
Wow,
Patrick
I didn't know
sent
that.
in a 60-second clip of him doing comedy. Tony Hinchcliffe complimented him on one of the setups or something. And I think the joke that Paddy had was something about like fat people should have to wear their shirt size on the outside. And Tony's like, okay, there's something there. You could turn that into something. And then they brought Paddy on the show. It was a big deal. He's talking to Tony Hinchcliffe, his favorite show. He's watching it. And his internet sucks. He just keeps freezing. And they're like, okay, we got to let you go. And they just bail on it.
The worst.
So sad. I know. It's such a bummer for him. But that's how he got with his old co-host that we used to love.
Trey Peacock?
Trey Peacock was also on Kill Tony, but live on Kill Tony a couple of times. Which, by the way, if you're a stand-up on Kill Tony, it's probably not a good thing. The content of the show is laughing at jerks. So much like this one. But anyway, I don't know how we got off on that point. But yeah, it is good to remind people of where we've been with Patrick over the years. And you just heard him say you will get blocked if you go in there and you mention my name. But he also reminds us he doesn't care.
Deleting Great Job Awesome was just sort of me making a point, guys. I don't give a fuck about this at all. And the fact that you get so upset to the point where you think that I've talked literal shit about you, that's a you problem because, again, I don't know any of you.
We're not upset, cutie.
Yeah.
No one's upset with you.
You don't know any of us, and you don't know how upset we get. I can guarantee I've never been upset at anything like you have.
Honestly, the only times we've talked about Patrick Michael outside of the podcast has been with glee, and we're high-fiving each other.
Yeah, it's true.
We're only excited to listen to it, to talk about it. When we first discovered Patrick, we would have not even podcasting. We would just turn it on and we'd all be hanging out just listening to it.
Yeah.
And just
doubled
laughing.
over.
Yes.
Like, no, play it again.
Back it up, back it up. That's all.
That doesn't
great.
sound like a hater to me. That sounds like a fan.
We are all fans, still are. But Patrick doesn't listen to us. He doesn't know anything about us. He never listens. Here's some more evidence of that.
You still got these fucking overzealous, tough guy fanboys that want to attack my shit. And it's like, Carl's not even that type of guy. You can just see it by looking at him. It's like, that's not who he is. Right? Didn't he get punched in the face by the drummer from the Misfits or something?
Yes.
Like, he's not the guy that goes kicking somebody's ass.
He's right about that. That's true. I'm not telling anyone to hurt anyone. This is a comedy show. But how does he know that story?
Yeah.
Yeah, wasn't that a bonus episode?
It was. I think I've talked about it on other things too, but
Okay.
it's pretty crazy. He seems to know a lot about me somehow.
Yeah, he kind of defended you there a little.
He did. I know this is a roller coaster for me. I don't know what to believe anymore. I just have one more clip. We got to remember, because one of the things that came out about, and the people who are not as familiar with the Paddy C. Cups, Paddy Brokenskull saga that we've had, is that he does have an arrest record.
Oh, right.
He did, I think, put some jail time in for assaulting a child under 14. We don't know how old the child is. We just know.
Yeah. That kid probably had it coming, though. We don't know the full story.
He probably did. And so Patrick has to remind us that he is a tough guy.
And you can think I'm not. You can 100% think I'm not. I prefer it. Think that my gangster sound and voice when I get real gangster is fraud. Think that. I want you to. It's preferred, dude. I like it. It's fine.
Okay.
But again, the foundation of all of this has been, I truly don't give a shit.
Okay, very good. That's a great way to add to Paddy's segment right there. Just remember the foundation is that he truly does not give a shit. Whenever you have a modifier or qualifier like that, I truly believe this. This is the truth. That's when I go, is it? Well, I'm not sure about that. But he is a tough guy. And he reminds us of that. Thank you for that, Patrick.
Who are these podcasts? WA